figure it out.
Yeah, good to go. Please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call the meeting to order at 6 p.m. Can I get a roll call, please?
Mike Cashman.
Present.
Thomas Wood, absent. Barbara Hebert. Here. Charles Costick.
Here.
Dana Isabella.
Here.
James Coffey.
Here.
And I, Katie Cloutier, present.
Is there anyone seeking to provide public comment this evening? I will recognize Wendell Hughes, one of our county legislators, is in attendance this evening. Good to see you, sir. A couple things in the supervisor's report. I know that we're really excited to have launched the new developers guide. Just a couple of quick footnotes that I would share with you that some of you may take interest in. We've launched it just a little bit over a week now, and we have approximately 1,300 respondents to the survey, which is just remarkable. We've been in many different media markets, and the reason I say that is it really is allowing us to create an encatchment of individuals that are residing in Plattsburgh beyond the town center and the greater Plattsburgh region is what we're looking for, Vermonters, Canadians, etc. But fun little fact is one of the stories was picked up in Wichita, Kansas. So we've seen this before, which is very helpful, and we have already received several phone calls from individuals that have expressed an interest in learning more about the town of Plattsburgh. Doesn't mean that they are per se bringing a particular business here, but they are interested in learning about us. And this is exactly what this is about, is using it as an e-document, having the website landing page. We want to encourage you folks and others within the community to know that this survey structure is going to be continuously open, and we want to pull some more information. Trader Joe's is leading the pack right now as one of those businesses. There are a lot of different businesses there. Recreation is in the area. So we will share that with our strategic partners, but I want to thank the Chamber of Commerce for putting it in their daily dose. That helped us break into a different sector here in our community. We received some really nice comments from some of the local business owners in the area as well. This is not about just bringing chains into the area, and I just want to clarify that for people, or remind people, and it's not just about bringing new chains, new hotels. It's about allowing us to understand what the community has an interest in to help advocate for that. We still are in a free enterprise. People own their land and property. They can do a lot with it, but it may also be helpful to cultivate and share information with local developers. And I'll use one just because it's kind of in that domain. Mini putt, for example. There's been a lot of interest for people for mini putt. So maybe something like this with different data point may encourage more market analysis, more conversation. We're not necessarily looking for a national company to bring mini putt to Plattsburgh, but maybe somebody wants to lean in and do that particular thing. So some interesting stuff. I also do want to remind people I'll be out of town throughout the weekend, going to my grandmother's memorial service, and then out part of the beginning of next week at AOT's executive meeting. So I want to thank Chuck for being officer in charge. So I don't have anything else for my report, but I do know that we have a couple of items here tonight to put on the table for consideration. And then we'll get into the rest of it as a work session. So without further ado, Resolution 180, appointment of Stephen Billington as an MEO2 in the Highway Department.
Whereas the Highway Department has a vacancy and there is a need to add another staff member in that department, and whereas all applications for said position have been reviewed and the job has been posted by Greg Brunel, Highway Superintendent, as per union contract, and whereas the Highway Superintendent recommends that Scott Billington be appointed to said position, now therefore be resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Plattsburgh does hereby authorize the hiring and appointment of Mr. Billington to to the vacant position of MEO2 at an hourly rate of $23.61 as indicated by the current Teamsters agreement, and a copy be given to the Civil Service for their final review and approval. And be it further resolved that this appointment will become effective August 14th of 2023, following Civil Service final approval, and the supervisor is hereby authorized to sign all necessary documents for the appointment of Mr. Billington to the position of MEO2 in the Highway Department with a probation period not to exceed 12 months. And it is further resolved that a copy of this resolution be given to the Finance Manager, Highway Superintendent, and also be placed in Mr. Billington's personnel file.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Bostic, is there a second?
Second.
Isabella, any discussion?
Glad for Mr. Billington. I just want to introduce a request, mostly from the process standpoint, and these resolutions are important, so if there's some backup documentation that could come with this, if it's the application and resume or word, it'd be really helpful.
Yeah.
That's all.
And I understand that. I would remind Counselor, though, that with the Highway Department, it's slightly different, where the Highway Superintendent has a lot more purview.
Yes.
And
And that's what, I was bringing that up just as a
Yep.
reintroduction request,
Yep.
Supervisor Cashman,
Yep.
only because process and not intruding on the hiring authority of the highway superintendent.
Yep.
I think it would be helpful.
With nothing further, can I get a roll call, please?
Thomas Wood is absent. Barbara Hebert,
Yes.
Charles Costick,
Yes.
Dana Isabella,
Yes.
and Michael Cashman.
Yes, resolution does carry, thank you. Resolution 181, permanent appointment for Stephen Waldron as Superintendent of Building and Grounds for the town of Plattsburgh.
Pardon me. Just make sure it's right here. It's there. Oh, here it is. Whereas the civil service examination for the position of Superintendent of Buildings and Grounds was held, and Stephen Waldron, original superintendent for the town of Plattsburgh, has successfully completed said examination. Now therefore be it resolved that Mr. Waldron's appointment as Superintendent of Buildings and Grounds be made permanent with a probationary period of 12 weeks. A copy of this resolution be given to the Finance Manager, a copy to Civil Service, and a copy be placed in his personnel file.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Isabella Costick. Any discussion? I just want to congratulate Stephen. I think he's doing a tremendous
Yes.
job, and we're very pleased that he not only met the challenge but exceeded it. So, with nothing further, can I get a roll call?
Barbara Hebert,
Yes, and congratulations, Steve.
Charles Costick,
Yes.
Dana Isabella,
Yes.
Michael Cashman,
Yes. Resolution carries. Last active resolution, resolution 182, Paylocity agreement.
whereas the town of Plattsburgh would like to integrate the payroll system and time clock system with one software in order to gain efficiencies and reduce costs. And whereas after review of 3 payroll companies, Paylocity meets the needs and pricing of the town, therefore be it resolved that after the review of the town attorney and approval of the supervisor is authorized to execute the agreement for the town of Plattsburgh, and a copy of this resolution be given to the Finance Manager.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Costick, is there a second?
Seconded.
Hebert. I just want to comment on a couple of things really quickly. Is part of the reason that this is falling in the timeline is there needs to be an implementation of the system, so as the W-2s, right, yeah, are processed so as not to create doubles in the system, and it's kind of a weird way to look at that. But the efficiencies of this are really exciting because ultimately it will allow a couple of clicks on the button as people are taking time off, that it will automatically assign those values on the back end, so when they're running reports, that it's there. A lot of this still has to be manually done, so it will actually free up some time in the business office, and it's just, there's a lot of wins here. So kudos to Pat and his team for identifying this resource. Seeing nothing further, can I get a roll call, please?
Barbara Hebert,
Yes.
Charles Costick,
Yes.
Dana Isabella,
Yes.
Michael Cashman.
Yes. Resolution carries. All right. A couple of just draft materials here, minutes, zoning map amendment, the July 2023 budget amendment, and then proclamation and recognition of the National Adult Education and Family Literacy. I know that we have been doing quite a number of proclamations lately. This one was requested by the agency specifically, and, you know, we are putting it forward, so just a heads up on there. Is there anyone seeking to provide any committee reports this evening? Seeing none, I do know the need to have a brief executive session with no formal action to follow regarding the work history of two specific individuals, as well as the ongoing pending litigation with the city of Plattsburgh. Is there a motion to enter an executive session?
So moved.
Hebert, is there a second?
Second.
Isabella, can I get a roll call, please?
Barbara Hebert,
Yes.
Charles Costick,
Yes.
Dana Isabella,
Yes.
Michael Cashman.
Yes, we will officially enter executive session at 6:10 PM.
Have a good night.
Thank you,
This is
legislator Hughes, for coming.
No
Appreciate
formal
it.
action to
Have
follow.
a good night.
You too. Stay dry.
You too.
You too.